Are you a high achiever who wants to get really good results in your organization, but sometimes you feel like you are just whacking moles and never actually achieving the targets you need to get to? This is a critical competency of leadership. And if this is something you struggle with, stay tuned because I'm going to walk you through some of the things you need to do to make sure that you're achieving the results that you want and your funders want in your organization. Welcome to the Surviving to Thriving podcast that helps women leaders in nonprofits get out of survival mode and thrive in both leadership and life. I'm your host, leadership development coach Kathy Archer, and I help women leaders enjoy impactful leadership. Last week, I gave you the overview of the 5 key competencies that you need to focus on for that high fulfillment, high achievement leadership. Today, we're going to talk about achieving results. That is getting those targets met that you need to do. Just a quick overview though, we're talking about achieving results, also making sure that you have those relationships intact so that you can achieve the results. Then that systems thinking where you know what's going on within your sector and in your team and in the world and putting it all together. You need to be self-aware, and then you need to have courageous authenticity so that you can speak up and say what needs to be said. All of those 5 key competencies are important. So if we're diving deeper into achieving results, one of the first things you need to do is think strategically. And I hear this again and again and again from many of the leaders that I'm coaching with or who are students in my membership site. They don't have time to think. You absolutely need to create time in your calendar for thinking. Stepping away from the computer. Thinking, this kind of thinking doesn't happen when your fingers are on the keyboard. Getting away from the computer, grabbing a piece of paper, a whiteboard, going for a walk. Thinking strategically where you can start to go, how does this fit with this? And what role does this play in this? And how is this person's relationship affecting that? And what if I did that? What would it do to this group over here? All of that is that strategic thinking. And again, we rarely have time to do that. It requires a different mindset, different sort of space that you're in to do that. And you absolutely must, if you want to start achieving results, starting to have that high effective leadership, this is a competency you need to build, thinking strategically. Along with that comes having the vision, the mindset where you're focusing on your mission and your purpose and your vision. And you need to create that vision and you need to map it out in your own mind, but then tell the story for your team and your clients and your funders and your communities. This is where we're going. This is the work we do and this is the impact we have. This is why we do this piece to get over here. And you need to make sure that you hold strong that mission and that vision and that purpose in your organization. And key leaders attach that to individual missions and purpose. Why is this person in the job? Why do they care? What makes them stay in this organization? What matters to them? We know that highly engaged employees find that their work is connected to their own personal mission, their own personal vision, their own reason for getting up in the morning. And so making sure that you guys are achieving the targets that you're aiming for, you need to have that vision and connect that to individuals' visions and missions as well. Then you need to know what the targets are. What are you trying to achieve? And you need to meet those targets. You have key goals and expectations in your contract, in the strategic plan that your organization developed, with your standards. You know that there are things that you have to hit. And you have to be working towards those goals. We're teleological beings. And what happens for many of us is we don't actually have targets, or we have targets that are too far out. So we have yearly goals, or we sit down and create a strategic plan. What are you doing this week to meet those goals? And that's how you're going to really get down and do the work that needs to be done to get there. If you know that you have to do some work on accreditation and meet some things and update standards and get people trained, if you wait till the last minute, like many of us do, it's going to be really hard to do that well. But if you're planning for that and doing that work, achieving those targets bit by bit by bit, you're going to find that you're going to be much better at achieving those targets and sustaining that balance to do that. All of this requires that you really think decisively and make those decisive decisions. You can't get all of the information and know exactly the right or wrong answer. Your job as a leader is to make decisions quickly with the information you have. Really, it's about making those decisions in a timely manner, People are waiting for you. People need you to make decisions. Your organization isn't going to move forward if you're the one stalling and being that bottleneck. You need to get decisive. You need to get clear about making a decision, making it in a timely manner, and then moving forward with that decision. This wishy-washiness or stalling or putting off is not helping your team. If you're going to achieve those results, you need to be decisive. So make sure that you are working on thinking strategically, thinking with that vision and mission and purpose in mind, making sure that you are taking time to identify your targets, what you need to do in the short term to meet those targets, and then making decisions decisively. Those things are really going to help you achieve the results that your organization needs. And so that's only a piece of the puzzle. Remember, we're talking about the 5 competencies that you need to achieve high fulfillment and high impact leadership. You want to feel good about the work you're doing and achieve really good results. You need to work on these pieces of this achieving results. You also need to work on building your team, which is what we're going to talk about next week, really talking about those competencies that help you build those relationships in your team. You also need to have that systems awareness, knowing what's going on. We'll talk about that the following week. After that, we're going to talk about building that self-awareness. Then we're going to talk about really how that all comes together in your leading with authenticity. Once again, this comes from the Leadership Circle profile. This is a 360 tool that I do with many of my leaders, but you can do the self-assessment part for free. And I really encourage you to do that. I'll make sure the link is in the notes. It's Leadership Circle profile. And you'll get to assess your results, how you feel you're doing with achieving results. Yeah, I think I'm doing great. I think I'm achieving results. Or maybe not so much. Maybe I'm not very decisive. Or maybe I really don't focus on the vision. Or maybe I'm really good at creating time to think strategically, but I need to get better at creating some of those goals and targets to meet those things. So do that self-assessment. It's a really good starting point. The students in my membership site, the training library, are really going deeper with this. And so if you want that deeper dive where I'm giving you more worksheets and guidance to get you through some of this, then you can go look at kathyarcher.com/library and join the membership site where you can get more of the work that helps you do the inner piece. Again, one of the key factors with growth and development as a leader is doing the inner work. And many times we'll listen to a podcast, we'll read a book, we'll do a quick assessment. We're like, oh, that was interesting. But then what? Then you need to apply it. What are the pieces that aren't quite there for me? Where are my strengths that I can build more? What are the things that I need to become more aware of? How do I need to increase my emotional intelligence? Maybe I need to do better at setting goals. You need to actually do the work. Listening to this is great. Love that you're here. But if you're not actually taking this and applying it, it's probably not going to make a dramatic difference in your life or in your leadership. So start with that self-assessment. If you want to know more, contact me. And if you're interested in diving deeper, join the training library and we'll get you going there. So again, next week, we're going to talk about what are the underlying competencies that you need to build stronger relationships in your team. And then again, in the following weeks, we're going to go through the rest of them, really around that systems awareness, that self-awareness, that leading with authentic, courageous authenticity, so that you, my dear, can be one of those really highly impactful leaders who really does the mission critical work, but also finds balance in your life, because those are all critical components for you to move from surviving to thriving in both your leadership and life. Go make the rest of your day awesome, my dear. If you found today's episode helpful, then you are going to love the training library. Many women leaders in nonprofits wish that they had a coach or a mentor to help them, but they don't believe that they or their organization can afford it. Oh, but you can. Inside of the Training Library membership site, you will not only get access to affordable and easily accessible ongoing personal and professional development training, you will also have access to a leadership coach at your fingertips. That way, when you hit those inevitable challenges that leadership will bring your way, you'll have both the resources and the support to navigate your way through them with confidence, composure, and while keeping your integrity intact. To find out more, head to kathyarcher.com/library. If you are enjoying the show, I'd love it if you could leave me a comment or a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks for listening. Go make the rest of your day awesome.